How's it going, hockey fans? Thank you all so much for tuning in to episode 5 of the Fourth Line Plugs podcast. Today we have a great show lined up for you guys. We're taking the starting goalie of every NHL team and ranking them on a tier list. After that, we'll be talking about the top 5 defense cores and reacting to a couple other people in the media space and seeing did their list get it right and how does it compare to ours. And then we're going to finish off talking about the Central Division. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you do, please be sure to like, subscribe, follow, whether you're on Spotify or YouTube, and we hope to see you next time. Enjoy. So for our first segment today, we're going to be talking about the goalies of the NHL. This is the projected starter for every one of the 32 franchises in the NHL, according to Puckpedia. And most of these guys are pretty established. There's maybe a couple that we could have an argument for who the starter is. Most of the guys are pretty established at this point, at least as a 1A option. Mm-hmm. Won't be considering any tandems at this point, but we have our lovely tier list here provided by Jackson. Mm-hmm. Starting off at the top, our Vezina candidates, Vezina, the Goalie of the Year award, then wins your team's games, if you want to go into that one.
I mean, those are goalies that they have like the edge. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna steal you games, especially in the playoffs, right? They're guys that are consistently gonna steal you games, and put you in good spots. So
then happy if healthy, these are guys that have had a lot of injury concerns, and if they're healthy. Mm-hmm. Then you're going to be happy to have them. And then, the less healthy guys unhealthy guys that, you're less happy to have on your roster, they're going to be further on down this list. Yeah. But these are still very good goalies. They're just often injured and kind of unreliable for that reason.
Yeah. Unreliable for health reasons, not for performance reasons.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then we have doesn't lose your team games. So the opposite of wins your team games, right? Not really the opposite, but basically these are guys that are going to be pretty steady. They're going to be, they're not going to lose you games. They're probably not going to win you as many games as the players ahead of them, right? But you're okay. You're okay with it,
Yeah.
To me, this is probably the last tier of guys that could feasibly make a cup run.
Yeah, they predictably could win a cup run.
Mm-hmm, obviously, any goalie can get hot, and that's why goalies are crazy, right? It's so hard to predict goalies because, anyone can win a cup if they put together the right month of the, any goalie that is an NHL caliber goalie, maybe with a couple of exceptions, is going to be able to put together a run. But the guys that you would expect to, I think, the last tier of guys are going to be right here and doesn't lose your team games. Mm-hmm.
Next up, you have Are You the Real Deal? These are guys that a lot of these guys are probably going to be on the younger side. Mm-hmm. Predicting this, I haven't charted out this whole tier list, but guys are on the younger side that you're not sure where exactly they're going to pan out, and also where you could find some kind of career 1Bs who are now a 1A. Are there any other guys you predict to be in this section?
No, I think that sounds pretty good. It'll be young guys with potential, probably, or players with potential where we don't really know that maybe they've shown something, but we're not 100% sure what. So,
right.
Yeah. And then we've got the Are You Washed Yet tier for older guys who there's some questions about, they've been good. Are they gonna be good this year, right? You know? Not for health reasons, but for performance reasons, right? I mean, right. Players age and players get worse as they get older. When it's in their mid to late 30s, I would say, that's where these guys are probably going to be.
Somewhere sitting over here upset at that sentence. But those guys are the exception. Mm-hmm. And then finally, we have loses your team games.
Yep.
These are just the outright shouldn't be starters in any form, capacity, healthy, unhealthy, young, old, just not starters.
I am going to say even guys in this tier could maybe go on a cup run because that's just how it goes sometimes. But these are guys that are realistically not going to be Stanley Cup caliber like goalies.
Yeah.
You know, you can win a cup with a lot of different goalies have won cups.
Yes.
Right? Like, and a lot of different types of goalies, a lot of different tiers of goalies, right? A lot of different guys are capable of winning a cup. But, you know, when you look at these guys that are going to be in this tier, I wouldn't say that they're very likely to be in that conversation. So,
yeah. I mean, you look at like 2022 with Adin Hill, he was the third stringer going into the playoffs and didn't become the starter until injuries happened mid-first round and ended up winning the cup.
Yep. Because that's just how things go sometimes. And I would also say, if you're in this tier, you probably, and your team is good, like the skaters on your team are good, you're probably looking to upgrade. You know, in the other tiers, maybe not so much. Maybe you think that you could do it with that, but this is, you know, and probably already watched yet. But like, you know, this is the tier of guys where like if this is your goalie, you're looking to upgrade, and if your team is trying to win a cup. And we'll see who ends up in the tier. So,
all right. So our first player that we're going to be ranking is Adin Hill of the Vegas Golden Knights. Hill's an interesting one. He like rides the line between wins your team games and doesn't lose your team games for me.
I'd agree with that. I think I'd put him in the top of doesn't lose your team games.
Yeah.
But I mean, as we alluded to before, right? Has Stanley Cup, right? He's a good goalie. I don't know if he's like. We'll see who ends up in those other tiers for which one we think he belongs in better. But yeah, he could be in either of those two tiers, I would say.
Yeah, I mean he's good. He's quite good. But outside of his Stanley Cup run, has kind of never been a dominant player in net. So
yeah, but perfectly capable of putting it together.
Yeah. Next up on the list is one of the elite goalies in the league is Andrei Vasilevsky of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yep.
I write in a Vezina candidate.
Yeah. Perfectly reasonable.
He's possibly started to dip, but I think the dip is more of some other guys have started to catch up to him. That he's not as uncontested as he once was.
Yeah, team ahead of him isn't quite as good too. So.
No, but I mean, this past year he had some really good numbers after a rough year before. So, bit of a return to form for him. But yeah, he's still one of like the locks to be nominated for a Vezina year in Europe.
Yeah, and I there are, spoiler, there are not too many guys on this list that I would rather have minding my net. So
no, it's a pretty short list that would be ahead of Vasilevsky.
Also has both regular season and playoff success, right? Has Vezina and also just insanely dominant cup runs, right? So that's pretty big.
Yeah, one of the best in the game. Then next up is a bit of an odd pick, Anthony Stolarz of the Toronto Maple Leafs. A guy who at age 30 got his first shot at starting and was quite good for Toronto, but only played 34 regular season games and 7 postseason games, had some injuries, was really good. But, I mean, it's just such a small body of work as a 1G to kind of go off of,
Yeah, we could put him in Are You the Real Deal? I
think so.
I think that's a reasonable spot for him.
I think so. If he plays like this every year and is able to stay healthy, he could be a Stanley Cup winning long-term starter for the rest of his career.
Yeah, not on the Leafs.
No, probably not on the Leafs. But, he could be a long-term starting goalie. But, I mean, through the first 12 years of his career, he's been a backup of varying quality.
Yeah. If 30 games as a starter is not enough to say for sure that he's good, and it's weird to put a guy that this old on Are You the Real Deal, but I mean that's just how it's gone for him. So, and
there is a track record of goalies hitting their stride really late. They typically don't hit the league till 24 at the earliest, then 25, 26 is when they usually start. There's exceptions, obviously. But Tim Thomas didn't hit the league until he was 30-something, 31. there's been some very successful goalies that have hit their stride late. Stolarz might be one of those guys, but also he could just like return back to being a backup, a good backup. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Next up, Connor Hellebuck of the Winnipeg Jets. Contentious player. I think this makes the most sense to me is putting him behind Andrei Vasilevsky in this Vezina candidate tier.
Yeah. Okay.
Only because
the playoffs.
And maybe it's because I'm a Toronto fan. I hate harping on playoffs because it's such like a small sample size compared to like multiple years of regular season. And like things could go wrong for 6 games and it's not even in your control, right? But like he just kind of hasn't had a good playoffs. Really, just has like one run in his career where he was really good. Two of his 7 runs where he was really good, but like 4 of them are bad.
Yeah,
and then 2 like decent, right? So
yeah, and last year after that incredible regular season into having such a stinker in the playoffs, like that's tough.
He has 3 Vezinas to his name, 2 or 3 Vezinas to his name. I can't remember how many off the top of my head he has. I think he has 3 though. It's like this is an elite goalie.
Yeah,
year in year out, arguably the best in the league in the regular season. But then playoffs come and it's just a little disappointing. So that's why I think he falls just behind Vasi. Because even though his regular season numbers are as good or better than Vasi has 2 cups, multiple good playoffs.
And looks much better in the playoffs. I think this is fair. I think these are the top 2 goalies in the National Hockey League. So
I think there's a third that's right up there, but
sure.
We're getting to the elite guys early this time.
Speaking of elite guys,
so this is Dan Vladar. We're in Calgary here. We'll be playing for the Philadelphia Flyers this season, and it's probably going to be the starter unless something crazy happens. And he's not a starting goalie in the NHL.
No,
he's not even an elite backup. He is a okay backup, and he's going to be starting probably the majority of games for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yep, and that's all in design for the Flyers.
Yes,
who are not trying to win games.
No. I mean, I think they would really prefer him not to start. I think they'd rather one of Ersin or Fedotov to take a leap, but neither of those guys have kind of shown.
I don't think those guys are ready yet. So
that's well, I don't think they're going to be that good.
Sure, I mean reasonable.
Point blank period to be starters in the NHL.
Yeah.
Their future starter is he's currently 19 years old in Russia. So, this is just. Fine backup, not a starter. Next up, Darcy Kemper of the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah.
And I think happy when healthy.
Yeah, that's a good place to put him.
He's been more healthy lately in his career. Only one of his last 4 significantly hampered by injuries. And then previous ones where he was significantly hampered. But
yeah,
and he's good.
Yeah, he is good. I mean, if he didn't have injury concerns, I'd put him bottom of wins your team games, maybe top of doesn't lose your team game, probably bottom of wins your team games.
Oh yeah, I think he's a wins your team games guy.
Towards the bottom of it, but he's a good goalie. Has had some injury issues. I don't think he's going to be the reason that the Kings, or he's not the reason the Kings have been bounced by the Oilers in the first round for however many consecutive years. He's had good solid series.
Yeah, this past year, his first in LA, it was a mixed bag, but like the whole team was kind of not clicking in the playoffs.
Yeah,
did win a Stanley Cup with Colorado, But yeah, Kemper very good.
Yeah,
but if he's healthy, then they should be pretty happy. Next up, Dustin Wolf of the Calgary Flames, runner-up for the Calder Trophy for Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
I mean, he's between either wins your team games or are you the real deal.
Yeah, it's hard to give it to give him the wins your team games off of a season.
Yeah,
But it was a really convincing season.
it was a
Like,
really good season.
It was a really convincing season. He had a great season. He looked really good. The Flames are not a fantastic team ahead of him, so him being there and winning his literally winning his team games. That was there. I think I want to put him in Are You the Real Deal? But him and another young guy that we'll talk about later, I think, are two of the brightest young goalies. Teams are going to be really happy to have him. So I'd put him above Stolarz. I think his ceiling is significantly higher.
Yeah, I think the odds of him jumping out of this tier in an upwards trajectory are higher than Stolarz.
Yeah, I mean he's close to wins your team games. I would put Stolarz in doesn't lose your team games off of his maybe potential.
If we just treated Stolarz as the same as Wolf, just like looking at 1 year, like Stolarz won the Leafs a few more games.
Yeah.
Than Wolf did.
Yeah, but the age and history is something that you kind of have to project a little bit here, and
yeah.
But
I next year both these guys could be in the wins your team games category.
Yeah,
Wolf for sure. And then next on this list is Elvis Merzlikins of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah,
who drops immediately into loses your team games.
Yeah. Lost his team a lot of games.
Yeah, one of the weakest goalies in the NHL.
Something that Columbus is going to need to address because they're knocking on that. They overperformed last year because of just a lot of guys making leaps and having career years and stuff like that. He is not one of them, and it doesn't really. I don't think there's a lot of hope for him, So I think if Columbus wants to really be contenders, and they 100% could be, because the Metro is as bad as it's ever been, right? So they could easily sneak into the playoffs if they really wanted to. But I think they're going to have to upgrade it at goalie if they want to make that leap. So
yeah, he's just he's not that guy anymore. It looked like early in his career he could have been, but. It's just it's fallen off. Guy probably needs to change of scenery. Kind of tough with that contract, but it becomes, if he can have a decent year, it becomes more movable. Only has 2 years left on it of a $5.4 million deal. So next year, if he's just like a 1 year rental and Columbus retains a bit, it becomes slightly movable if he has a decent year. But maybe you would have to buck a recent trend for him.
I think most likely he's riding it out, or they're attaching assets in order to get rid of it. Like if they find someone else on the market that they want to pay and his contract becomes untenable, then they're probably going to have to send something out for someone to take on his contract. So
luckily for them, they have a ton of cap space, but they also have a lot of expiring contracts this year. And some of them they're moving off, but some of them they're going to definitely want to.
Yeah, a lot of holes to fill, right?
Extend. Yeah. Next up on the list, Philip Gustafson of the Minnesota Wild. I want to put him in wins your team games.
Yeah, I do too. Former Penguin
been pretty good.
2
years ago he had a bit of an anomaly year, but yeah, he's been very good.
He's a really good goalie. Wild are successful a lot. He plays a big part in the Wild success. He's just very consistent, very solid. The Wild actively, are I think big in it because of him. He plays a big part in their success. Yeah. And the consistency of the team, the way that they're constructed, I think kind of plays into that.
They play low event hockey.
Yeah, they play low event hockey
unless Kaprizov's on the ice. Right. Then dynamic things happen, and then he hops off for 2 minutes, and then it's dead.
They just hang out for a little bit. But Gustafsson is really good at making the saves that he's supposed to, right?
Yeah.
So
And like
Yeah.
he's flashed the ceiling of a Vezina guy.
Mm-hmm.
He like it's conceivable he could get there in his career. We'll see. I don't think he's a lock for that.
Yeah,
But
any one
he's
of the
flashed
guys
that
in this
ability.
tier could string it together for a year, and spoiler alert, there might be some guys that were Vezina candidates last year that I would put in this tier instead of in that one. So
Also, pretty small sample size. He's only had 2 playoff series, and they lost both of them, so 5 and 6 games. But like, he was very good in those. He was not the reason that Minnesota lost those playoff series. He's been a better playoff goalie than Hellbuck, and a lot of other guys. So if Minnesota's able to put it together, they could be a team that could go on a run because they got a guy in net that can run with them.
all right, Colin, question for you: if the Penguins had Gustafsson and Ian Cole on their team, are they a playoff team this year?
No.
Because that's who they gave up to get Derek Brassard in order to what was it, 2019, I think.
Yeah, keep the band together.
To keep the band together. I'm just saying. I know it made so much sense at the time to get rid of him because of all these great goal. We had Matt Murray, what a great guy, won 2 cups, insane. What a great young goalie, right? Tristan Jarry, oh man, that guy is great. Gustafsson is the best goalie out of all those guys now, and
Easily, yeah.
yeah. And like potentially like even like the peaks of those guys. I mean, Matt Murray peaked for a couple of playoff runs and never really got it together for long term because of injuries and stuff like that, obviously. But like, what could have been? What could have been?
Yeah. I don't think they're a playoff team now because I don't think any amount of goaltending would help that defense.
Hey, maybe 2 years ago though.
Maybe. Yeah.
Right?
Maybe when they kept getting bounced in the first round by the Islanders. And,
that was...
could have maybe avoided some of those bounces.
Yeah.
Next up, one of my personal favorites, Freddie Anderson of the Carolina Hurricanes. Happy if healthy.
Yep.
It's Freddie's story at this point. It's how many games of Freddie are you going to get?
Yep.
And a little bit of like, at what point is he going to fall off? But
yeah, I'm much more worried about health than his performance dipping. Right, he's
100%.
just a solid goalie that, Carolina doesn't need elite goaltending to be a good team, and he's very good. So
yeah.
He would get it done. He is capable of getting it done for that team. So we just gotta hope that he's playing. Specifically, we gotta hope that he's playing. And he's healthy in the come playoff time. Because like Carolina doesn't need him in order to get there. Because again, the Metro is giga ass.
Yeah.
Like
and Carolina is super stacked.
Is very 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 good. So they just need someone to man the helm. In come the playoffs, and I think a healthy Freddie Anderson is more than capable of getting it done.
I mean, he's been very good in the playoffs for most of his career. There's a couple stinkers between his time in Carolina and Toronto and Anaheim.
Yeah, but like it's on Toronto.
The majority of the time,
You
I mean, even his Toronto years, he was very good. He was not. Freddie was never the reason Toronto lost.
That's true.
Yeah, he did go up against Prime Vasi a couple times, and he's the second best goalie, right, in those series. But he was never like the reason they lost. And I don't think he's been the reason Carolina's lost to Florida either recently.
Yeah.
Next up, one of my favorite goalies and maybe my number one guy is Igor Shesterkin of the New York Rangers.
Yeah, throw him up there in the top tier.
He's definitely in the top tier. Putting him between Hellbuck and Vasi makes some sense to me. Putting him over Vasi makes some sense to me. I don't think putting him behind Hellbuck makes a ton of sense.
We could be recency merchants, though.
I mean, we could. But I mean, even last year, right, was not a great year, but it wasn't a bad year.
No, that's true.
It's kind of similar to Adam Fox from the 1D video, where everybody perceives both him and Fox to have had a bad year because they had down years for them personally, and the Rangers were bad.
Right, the Rangers were
like
terrible.
They were both still very good defensive goalies. Is everybody else around them on that half of the ice was atrocious.
Yeah, and we're projecting here, and I think the Rangers are going to be a lot better this year. So
I think they could be a bit better on defense, but we'll see.
I'm comfortable with this. You can split hairs. I think you could make a case for any of the three guys in that case to be on top. If you're just talking about regular season, Hellebuyck just had one of the best ones ever, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
If you're thinking about playoffs, you think, well, the Shesterkin and Vasi have had better runs. Vasi especially, right, has the edge there. But if you're thinking about whole body of work, I think you could make a case for anything. This makes sense to me though. I like this ranking.
Yeah, I'm fine with this. Next up, keeping it in New York with Russian goaltending, we got Ilya Sorokin.
Yeah.
Of the New York Islanders.
Interesting guy.
I kind of feel like putting him at the top of wins your team games.
I think that makes sense.
Not quite the year-to-year Vezina guy.
Yeah.
But he's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's very good. Yeah, like we said, anyone in the wins your team games is also could potentially string it together and win a Vezina, and Sorokin has done that a couple times, right? Yeah. But is he gonna do it year after year the same way that the guys in the top tier are gonna do? Does he have the same playoff highs as someone like Vasi or someone like Shesterkin? No. So, and also, then, poor Sorokin, he's on a bad team, man. They're going to be bad this year. And so it's tough to shine when you're on a bad team like that, when you're a good goalie on a bad team. But,
luckily for him, he's played on a more defensive system, so he hasn't been left out to die like Shesterkin was last year.
That's true.
But yeah, he's going to have a hard time collecting a lot of hardware unless this thing turns around quickly, which as we alluded to when we did the draft recap, could happen quickly.
Yeah.
They've acquired a lot of young talent very quickly, so there probably will be acquiring more this coming draft.
Yeah, and then he still fits within the timeline of where those guys could potentially be. So come, a couple years down the road, those people, come up, all those prospects do, and then he is still in net. I think that the Islanders are a really good looking team.
Yeah. Next up on the list is Jacob Markstrom of the New Jersey Devils. I think Markstrom goes in the happy of healthy.
Yep. I think that's a good spot.
I don't know if I think for sure behind Freddie Anderson, because I think Freddie has the higher peak. But between Markstrom and Kemper, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think Kemper's been a little bit better lately, so I think this is where I'm pretty comfortable.
That's reasonable. I think I had Markstrom above Kemper on my personal list, but I think they're pretty similar tier to me,
Yeah.
Both of them are guys that, you want them to be healthy. You want if they are healthy, they're gonna win you games, right? Yep. But all these guys are in wins your team games comfortably if they had the consistency of health that other players did, right? So Markstrom, is a good goalie and the Devils are a team that could win. If their entire team is always just can they string together health from all their important players at the same time, right? And Markstrom
all their young players to hit the top of the roller coaster instead of in the valley.
But Markstrom is a big important part of that, and his health is going to be important to this team because he's a good goalie.
Yep. Next on the list is a very contentious pick. if Pete DeBoer were a guest on the show, then putting, Jake Ottinger down here in the lose your team games section. But we're not Pete DeBoer
for that take.
We are not Pete DeBoer. I think at the top of wins your team games.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy. I think he's definitely a tier down from the guys in that Vezina candidate. He's a guy that can put it together and make a run and he could win a Vezina, but he doesn't quite have the consistency. But I mean, Dallas is so happy to have him locked up for the long term. He's their goalie forever. So
yeah, extremely good. Goes on, like, has had some crazy heaters that he's gone on.
Yeah.
But also kind of has had some down stretches.
That's every goalie though, except you know what I mean? Like every goalie has like sometimes you're gonna struggle a little bit, but he's shown so many good consistent stretches that it's hard to bet against him. So
yeah.
And has been solid too in the playoffs for the Stars playoff runs. So
yeah, he has 2 great ones and 2 decent runs. And last year, I mean, his total numbers last year come out to decent, but like, he was really good until the Edmonton series.
Yeah,
and then Edmonton kind of picked him and all the Stars apart.
No one on that Stars roster looked good in that series. Like,
no,
it was kind of pitiful.
Yeah, I would not blame him for what happened against Edmonton.
Yeah.
But there are people on the other side of the aisle.
Yeah, and they're no longer the head coach of the Dallas Stars.
Next up is a guy tied pretty closely at the hip to Swayman, to Ottinger, and I leaked it. It's Jeremy Swayman of the Boston Bruins. Came in at the same time, same contract. Both Team USA backups to Hellebuck. Just kind of an odd amount of similarities. However, Swayman had a bad year last year.
Yeah, he did.
Now, Boston had a bad year last year, and Swayman's had some very, very, very good years before that.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to bust him down too hard. Maybe above Gustafsson or right behind Gustafsson in this wins your team games.
Yeah.
I think he's had a worse year than Sorokin or Ottinger have ever had. So I'd put those 2 ahead of him.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But I think he's a bit more proven than Gustafsson.
I'd agree with you there. I have Gustafsson higher on my personal list. I mean, don't want to. I don't think what Swayman did last year was bad enough to bring him down like a tier, but I do think it was pretty bad.
It was.
So, it was a bad team that had a lot of injury issues and a lot of other things going on and stuff like that. But I mean, it's hard to look at a guy gets his big contract and then kind of shits the bed.
Yeah.
And really have the same opinion on him. So
also his first year without having an Elite 1B. In Olmark, who went to Ottawa, we'll talk about soon. So is this something that is maybe projectable?
Yeah.
That he's going to maybe not be as good until Boston gets a backup that can give him
that gives him a little bit more rest, a little bit more security. Yeah, because
they did not want to play Korpisalo as much as they played Olmark.
No, for sure.
But they probably don't want to play Swayman as much as they used to play him with his new contract. So it's an odd situation. Also, I just noticed going to his Puckpedia, he has no trade protection this year, and that full no movement clause kick in after this year.
That's interesting.
So, probably won't trade him. But I mean, if you wanted to get out the contract,
well, I don't
apparently not looking to rebuild. So
yeah, Boston's so weird because they don't think they're as bad as they are, but they're kind of down bad,
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be something where I feel like they could probably get like very good value,
especially in this goalie market.
Yeah, in this goalie market, there's so many teams that could potentially upgrade. Right. Especially if they do it like at the deadline or something, and they, I don't know how the cap, if there are going to be any takers or anything like that, but like, for salary matching purposes. But like, I feel like there's going to be teams that would be willing to go all out and go all in and take that contract off their hands. Yeah. So,
I mean, if you're there's no way Edmonton wouldn't be interested. If available.
Hey, don't spoil things.
I mean, there's a contentious, interesting player. But next up, before we get there, is one of the more interesting guys because he makes less money than his backup. Is Joey Daccord of the Seattle Kraken, who has kind of come on late here in his career. His first starting season, he was 27 years old. And I think he goes in the...
Doesn't lose your team games?
Doesn't lose your team games, but I mean, I could argue him higher than that. I mean, he was very good this past year. Mm-hmm. Had one of the highest goals saved above expected of everybody in the league. Mm-hmm. Played on a bad team in Seattle and a bad defensive team in Seattle. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could argue him higher up on this list. He doesn't have quite the same pedigree.
Yeah.
With only the 2 seasons under his belt, no playoff experience.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'd knock him compared to the guys in the wins your team games tier. But I mean, I'd put him probably below Aiden Hill too, who also has that over him.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
If Seattle just magically got a bunch of wingers that were good and rounded out their defense a little bit, and they got into a playoffs and they made a run,
or if someone offered them gave him an offer they couldn't refuse, right? I mean, I don't know what his protection looks like, but that's a very movable contract, right? If someone wanted to give him a king's ransom for a guy who, is like similar to like a Mackenzie Blackwood, something, like that kind of, like that kind of trade that Colorado did last year. I think they would be silly to not. I don't know. Maybe they think they're closer than they actually are, and they don't want to deal with the whole like finding another goalie. But
yeah, I think they are kind of close.
They are close. I think the reason they're close is because the holes they need to fill are like things that are fillable and not things that aren't fillable. Like they have high end talents, they just don't have like medium high end talents.
Yeah.
So
I mean, their biggest problem is that they have the fill for those holes, but this needs time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To age and develop. Like they have the guys in the system, so they can't really like add a lot to fill those holes. They just have to wait, which is kind of maybe more infuriating than not having the solutions at all and having like all the opportunities availability is that they kind of have it. They just need to wait. And at 28 years old, Daccord is going to be, ready whenever those guys are.
Yeah. No, I guess that's reasonable.
Next up on the list is John Gibson, previously of the Anaheim Ducks, now of the Detroit Red Wings, courtesy of a trade this summer.
There's a tier with his name all over it.
Yeah, it's Are You Washed Yet?
All on his own. Yeah, I mean, he had a good year for the Ducks, right?
Yeah, he was a good year squarely as a backup.
Yeah, definitely was the backup, but was a good backup and obviously has a history of being a good goalie. Does he still have it? Yeah, like his pre-COVID years, he's very good. Yeah, and we're talking about pre-COVID, and it's 2025, right? So it's been a hot minute since the fate of the world has been up to John Gibson, right? Or the fate of a team, I guess. Because Yeah, so the Red Wings had really, really bad goaltending last year.
Yep.
And it is a big reason that they have not found very much success in doing anything. So is John Gibson the answer for literally probably just this year, maybe next year? Like, I don't know. Probably not. But maybe. Like, I have some doubts that he can be the full-time starting goalie, right? For a full season for them. However, I don't know if they get to the postseason, if he's healthy and didn't have to, play too many games, and they get there, could he make some magic happen? Like, maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They're an interesting team. The Red Wings are on the cusp of being really good. I think they've got a lot of the things they need to be good, right? So one thing they didn't have last year was goaltending, and they've got more questions now, but at least they're not wrong answers.
Yeah. And we think of Gibson as one of the older vets of the league. Mm-hmm. He's 32 though. Mm-hmm. So he's not in the we're trying to scrape the last good years
That's
out
true.
of him. I think Jacob Markstrom's 35.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
There's not a lot left on the tread, right? Mm-hmm. But he's still got maybe 6-ish years of being good if he is able to do that.
If he is good, right?
There's enough runway left.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. He had some very good years, and he hasn't had a very good year in a long time, but he also hasn't had to have a really good, cause he's been on the bottom, a bottom feeding Ducks team.
Yeah.
Right. He's been splitting time with Dostal, right? There's been all this stuff. So this is I guess his year to have that career resurgence that
mm-hmm.
he wants to have, right? And that the Red Wings want him to have. So.
And one of those guys that definitely needed a change of scenery.
Yeah, for sure.
And
there was no place for him on that Ducks roster. So
no.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is the change of scenery that he needs.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll spark some inspired Red Wings hockey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. If he is good, the Red Wings could be a pretty solid team, honestly.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of good pieces. They've got some young guys that had solid years that can get better, right? So they need it. They need some stability in net though, and so
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next up from the St. Louis Blues, maybe the most contentious goalie in the league.
You've said that a lot of times, but
I don't know. I think there's only been a couple contentious, but I think this is the king of contentious. I don't know any hockey fan that doesn't have a take about Jordan Binnington.
Yeah.
And what a mixed bag
mm-hmm.
he is. Because, there are some bad years in here.
There's some very good ones.
There are some very good ones. There's some great playoff runs.
Mm-hmm.
There's some pretty bad playoff runs, particularly the 2 COVID runs right after the Cup. But he is the poster child for the, anybody can win a cup because he was in the AHL until January of the 2019 year.
Yeah.
And got called up and then just went absolutely nuclear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
the problem with Jordan Binnington is that he wins your team games and he loses your team games.
He does.
And which one he's going to do is kind of all up in the air. I don't know. Does it average out to does it lose your team games, or does that mean that the tier sucks? Because that's where I don't know. Can we put him in Are You the Real Deal? Is that an abuse of the Are You the Real Deal tier?
I don't think so. For him, so much of it is mental.
Mm-hmm.
Because he just will just lose his mind in some of these games.
Mm-hmm.
And just want to pick fights with everybody when things aren't going well.
Mm-hmm.
And will just absolutely just tank his mindset out of winning a hockey game.
Yeah.
But then other times he just shuts the door down.
Yeah.
And he's a pretty good big games player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's had some good. He's had very good playoff performances, right?
Yep.
So,
and while it's a bit different, I mean, he's had good games for Canada.
That's true.
He's had some dicier performances.
Canadian hero.
But like he shut it down at Four Nations in the championship or gold medal or whatever it was game.
Yeah.
After having kind of a dicey run up to that point. So he's one of the weirdest players in the league. As far as like, what are you going to get every night?
Yeah, we talked about like consistency and how hard it is to rate goalies, and there have been those kind of issues with all the players that we've talked about. But I think Jordan Binnington is kind of in a tier of his own in terms of any of the guys that we've talked about in terms of his inconsistency issues.
Yeah.
So the peak is insane. Obviously, right? I mean, he's shown flashes, and he's shown like extended flashes too, right? Of being just an absolutely elite. Top tier goaltender, and he's also shown flashes where he just looks completely lost.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He's hard to. I don't know. Can we?
And the craziest thing is like you see those like the peaks and valleys like week to week.
Yeah.
Like when we talk about some of these other inconsistent guys, it's like, oh, they had a really good year, then a kind of mid year, then a really good year, then a bad year. He's like, oh, he had a really great week and then a really bad week. And then like 2 weeks of mid, and then a bad week, and then like a month of great. Like it's like week to week for him.
Yeah,
which is it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know that the Blues necessarily like need a chance. You know what I mean? Like compared to like other players, like I don't know that there are upgrades to Jordan Binnington besides just like getting Jordan Binnington more. You know, like the good Jordan Binnington more. Because like when he's as good as he is, like he's as good as anyone, right?
Yeah.
Like when he's the best version of himself, right? He's as good as anyone. So, and I think St. Louis is a team that surprised a lot of people, being as good as they were late in the season. He had decent stretch of games during that time. And he's could absolutely just turn it on in the playoffs and accidentally steal another cup.
Yeah.
So
then maybe this bottom of wins your team games then?
I'm down for that.
Because I think he does win his team games.
Yeah.
More than a lot of these guys below him.
Yeah. He definitely wins games.
Yeah.
Some of these guys don't like win games. They just like have like, but he wins games. Like for sure, he will steal you games. He'll lose you your fair share too. But
so next up on the list is another victim of a bad team. It's UC Saros.
Yeah.
Man, I wish he didn't play for Nashville anymore. He was one of my favorite goalies. This guy is really great. Last year was tough. It was tough to be a Nashville Predator outside of like Roman Josi when he was healthy, and Philip Forsberg. He's had some really great playoff runs, but has not won a playoff series in his career. Insanely,
that is crazy.
But like he's had a playoff run where he had over a .950 save percentage and didn't win.
Yeah.
He's kind of fantastic, but I don't know how high to put him.
He's hard because there's been he had a very good few years and then dropped off a little bit. Obviously was very bad last year. Was not as good as he had been before the year before that, right? I think this is where he belongs. So I think he still wins your teams way more games than he's going to lose.
Yeah.
Put him on a reasonable team, and he's I don't know. He's going to win you games. So there's most of the other teams that we've talked about would probably prefer if he was their goalie.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think his bad year wasn't as bad as Swayman's. This past year, he was not a lot better, but a little bit better than Swayman. So I think having him here between Gustafsson and Swayman makes sense to me.
He makes so much sense being next to Swayman because I think they're in somewhere deals, right?
Yeah.
Where they're just on bad teams. They had bad years, but they've shown a lot of really good years in the past. So we're thinking it's not their fault. They'll bounce back.
Maybe.
They're still good players. Well, that's what we're projecting here. You're
Well,
betting your
their
entire
team-
reputation on this, Colin. You put him in that tier. You're betting
Nashville
your entire
might not be
reputation.
good enough for him to bounce back.
Yeah, that's true.
They might just sell him out again and again and
Mm-hmm.
again. But I don't know. I think it's the real deal.
Yeah. I think so too. Also, I still can't believe that he's less than 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
That's just obscene that a modern day goalie can be that small.
If he was in the draft this year, he would not have been picked.
Yep.
Next up on the list is Karel Vejmelka.
Ooh.
Who is an interesting guy. He's kind of not had a good year until this year. And this year he was fine.
Yeah, he was fine.
Actually, he was pretty decent. He was pretty decent. He had better years than some of the guys in the wins your team games category.
Yeah, but he's never had even close to as good of a year as they've ever had, right? Even if you're like in the last like 2 years, like if you, I want to put him in the top of loses your team games, but maybe that's being harsh. I think he could go on a run if Utah makes it to the playoffs and like is like reasonable. Like he could do it, but I think if you're Utah, I think you want to upgrade.
Yeah,
they're a team that could be, if we're talking about trade candidates for some of these guys we were talking about have no protection on them, right? They're a team that could make a splash. They have so many assets to work with, right? Like if they went out and got, a Jeremy Swayman, right? Like they're an amazing team, right? And he's, maybe he's got it in him, but it just, I don't know. I don't feel good about him as a long-term starting goalie,
Yeah, I don't know. I think he is capable as a 1A or maybe a 1B.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, yeah, he's probably not a long-term guy.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he has done pretty well considering the team that he's been on. Mm-hmm. This past year, obviously, the team got much better. But, like, those Arizona teams were pretty terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
And he is able to hold his own. He wasn't carrying Arizona. So he's definitely not in a wins your team games. But, like, he was holding his own for how bad some of those teams were. So
yeah,
I think top of loses your team game is fine.
Yeah.
I kind of want to put Are You the Real Deal? Because he took a big step production-wise this year. It's like,
I'll allow it.
Where are you going to land?
Real deal. But I would like so much rather have Aiden Hill or Dackard on as my goalie than Vejmelka, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why I don't want to put him in the same tier as those guys. But I'm comfortable putting.
I also kind of don't want to put him next to Merz Lincolns and Vladar though. Like,
yeah, I guess that's fair. Those guys are very clearly not it, and he could still be like could still be like solid, like decent quality goaltender. I don't think he's I don't think he's great, but he could have another year where he takes a little bit of a leap and looks pretty solid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Next up is Linus Ullmark of the Ottawa Senators, who I think goes
here. Yeah, he's definitely in this tier.
Bottom of wins your team games.
Yeah, I don't know.
So as a regular season goalie, he should be higher up.
Yeah.
But if you look at his playoff numbers, they are like surprisingly terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Like he has not had a 900 save percentage in the playoffs yet. He's had 4 years of 800 level save percentages. And this year was his best goals against average at 2.84. Previously, it's been in the 3s and 4s. So, like, he also played for Buffalo, so a lot of his career just doesn't get to have playoffs in it. So he didn't get to build up that kind of resume there.
Yeah, but since he played for Buffalo, that means he's guaranteed to win a cup. So I would put him at the top of wins your team games because
maybe.
I mean, you're right. The playoff resume is not there. But the regular season resume absolutely is, and has been shown, and also has the best team of a lot of the guys that we have around him. Like the Swaymans and stuff like that. I personally would put. It's hard to say because Swayman's not going to make the playoffs next year. So, you can't really compare them 1-to-1. And obviously their teams are different. But, like, I think Ullmark is a guy that could easily change the narrative about his playoff performances.
Yeah, he's got to have one run, right?
Yeah, you just need one, like, good... Yeah, you just need one good run. And I think he could have that with Ottawa this year. So...
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a reasonable spot.
He's also never started 50 games in his career.
Yeah.
So he's never been like the guy.
Yeah. Can we put him next to Swayman though? Because I think that's where he belongs, I think they belong together.
Would you rather have Binnington or Ullmark?
Oh. You know what? Put Binners above Swayman. I want them both together.
Binner above Swayman?
Yep, put Binners right there. I love it.
It's a bit of a hot take, but I don't think it's
I don't know. You flip a coin.
Hot after this year.
You flip a coin, right? And if it lands heads, then Binners wins you the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Next up is I hate to say it. It's another contentious guy. It's Logan Thompson.
Yeah.
The internet's favorite Canadian goalie. But not Team Canada executive and coaching staff's favorite goalie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like I can't put him in. Maybe he's top of doesn't lose your team games.
It's so hard to put him lower than wins your team's games just because of like.
Because of the amount of games he wins.
Yeah, because of the amount of games he wins. But, like, I don't know. The Capitals team last year, I think, overperformed. I think he overperformed.
I mean, he was third in the league in goals saved above expected. Behind Hellebuck and Vasi.
Yeah, so
like, is that sustainable? Probably not.
I don't think he's that guy, but it's hard to argue that he isn't at least winning his team games, right? Because of those stats. I think I would rather take a chance on these guys. It's kind of interesting. Maybe we need another tier for the guys that were really good and then had a bad year last year. Because I'm just seeing UC Saros, I'm seeing Swayman, I'm seeing Ullmark, and those three guys to me all seem like they're in a pretty similar spot where they've had really good years and then they had like a less good year last year. I guess Ullmark didn't quite have as bad of a year last year as the other guys did, but and then Logan Thompson comes in, and he just had, like, an incredible year last year. But it's like, can we put him in Are You the Real Deal? Oh, what about that? What if we put him in Are You the Real Deal?
I think that's fair.
Because, like, he had... he went to a new team, and I think he overperformed what he is. But maybe that is what he is,
He was good in Vegas.
Yeah.
He wasn't elite in Vegas, but he was good.
He was good in Vegas, but not elite, right?
He also had a lot of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's a weird one. Kind of similar to Ullmark in that he's never really been the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to say, like, I want Logan Thompson to be the guy versus a Bennington or a Saros who... Mm-hmm. Maybe aren't the most consistent or haven't had the best recent season, but like I know I can put Saros in net.
Mm-hmm.
and get a good performance. With Thompson, it's a little tougher.
I just don't believe him. I don't believe that. I don't. If you told me that he didn't get any Vezina votes next year, I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I mean? Whether that was for like injury / availability related reasons because he didn't play as many games, or whether that was because he didn't do I think he's he's regression candidate number 1 out of any one of these goalies, in my mind. So I want him to prove it again.
That's fair. Yeah. I think in this "Are you the real deal" tier makes sense.
Do you want to move Binnington back to the "Are you the real deal" tier too, just for funsies? Because we had him there for a little bit, right? And then that would kind of put Saros and Swayman and Olmark in their own little corner there at the end. I don't know.
No, I just think Binnington just wins games.
Yeah, that's true.
The problem is he also just loses games. But I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this is where I'm most comfortable.
Nice.
Speaking of "Are you the real deal" guys, Lucas Dostal, I think, belongs at the top of this list. Maybe ahead of Wolf, maybe behind Wolf.
Yeah, they're they're 1A, 1B for this list. I think both Dostal is the young guy I was alluding to earlier. Mm-hmm. I mean, he looks really good. He just looks really good in front of a team that has not been that good. I think he's gonna be the future in net for the Ducks. I don't know if he's gonna make the jump to being elite, maybe ever. Certainly, maybe not this year. But I think at his, the trajectory that he's at is looking really good. So I want to see him. I want to see him prove it a little bit more. I want to see the Ducks be a little better. I don't know how much better they're going to be this year. We'll see if some of the other guys can make a leap to make the hockey that he's playing mean more, I guess. You know what I mean? And we'll see if he can stand up to that, because I think he's right there at the cusp of being very good, being in that wins your team games tier. He's very close. So
yeah, he is a very good Anaheim Duck.
Yeah, he won the Ducks a lot of games.
Yeah.
Right. So that puts him in, but we want to.
I still know how he's going to stack up to the rest of the league when the Ducks are of quality of a lot of the rest of the league.
Right.
How much does he scale with them?
Right. Yeah, how much was it him looking good in front of a bad team versus him being able to actually be good in a playoff situation when they get there, because they will get there at some point, right? So how good you don't think
Buffalo
so?
fans have been saying that for a while, so
yeah,
there's always the chance.
Yeah, maybe so.
But no, I think they will, because I think there will be an opening in their division, unlike the Atlantic.
Yeah.
I think you have to earn it more in the Atlantic than you do in the Pacific.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what he does this year. So
yeah,
he could be a monster
for sure. Next on the list is one of the weirdest guys career-wise on this list is Mackenzie Blackwood of the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, pre-COVID, this guy was very promising with New Jersey, and then through the COVID years was pretty not good, and got benched, got sent to the minors a little bit, got traded to San Jose, and
was solid for them. And then
he was kind of okay his first year there. Then last year he was pretty good with San Jose for a short period he was there. Then got traded to Colorado.
Yeah, because they were desperate for anything, right? With Georgiev being not on this list.
So he's a weird guy. His career's kind of gone all around this list. I would say right now, top of doesn't lose your team games.
Yeah, I
maybe
think he's
bottom,
there.
or just are you the real deal?
Yeah, I was actually thinking he's got a pretty solid case for are you the real deal too, right? Because it's kind of a similar situation to like what we've seen from maybe like Stolars or Vejmelka, right? Like where they've had pretty tumultuous careers, and then they've shown a little bit flash of being good. I would put him above. Yeah, okay.
I think Blackwood has the most legitimate resume of these three.
Yeah.
Between Stolars and Vejmelka. I think Stolars has the higher peak of all of them, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This past year, Stolars was elite when he played.
Was really good when he played.
Yeah.
He just didn't play that much. So, yeah.
So,
I'm still not convinced that the Avalanche think that he's their permanent goalie solution. You know what I mean?
With the contract they gave him.
You know what? Actually, you're right. You're right. I forgot about that extension. That one was crazy. But it was, I mean, you know. Yeah, okay. You know, you're right. They clearly have some faith in him.
I think he's going to be a bottom of wins your team games or top of doesn't lose your team games.
I think.
And on Colorado, I think
that's good enough.
Either situation is fine with them.
Yeah.
Because they have the team in front of him for him to just not lose games.
Yep.
To not be Georgiev.
Yeah. He's got the skill to, if he's just a doesn't lose your team games guy, if he's in that tier, Colorado is okay with it. And I think that's probably where he'll end up. But I'd like to see him do it for a full year in Colorado before I give him that distinction. But maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I think he's for sure at the floor is that tier. It's just, can he go up to wins your team games? And if he wins his team a bunch of games this year, then I think he does jump up. Next on the list is Sam Montembeault, who he's an interesting guy. He's kind of the slightly evolved Dostal.
Maybe?
Like he's like 1 or 2 years ahead of Dostal.
Yeah, and he's like also not as promising, I would say.
I think because he's 1 or 2 years long, he's hit his kind of ceiling in his prime.
I think we know more about him than Dostal.
Yeah.
So
like he's been a decent goalie on some bad Montreal teams.
Mm-hmm.
And he's shown some good flashes. But like he's not elite.
I'm down to put him at the bottom of doesn't lose your team games. I think we know what he is. And I think he is a fine...
I think he is ahead of Joey Decord. Comfortably.
Maybe? Okay. I'll let you have it. But I think I'd rather...
I mean, Montreal's defense is really bad.
That's true. Their defense has been really bad. They're relatively similar players, right? I would say they've both looked solid on pretty bad teams.
Yeah.
Montreal no longer a bad team. So we'll see. I
mean, this is a make or break year for him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if he has a bad year this year, he's gone.
Yeah.
Like, if he has a bad year this year, like, he's going to be a lot of the reason, too, why Montreal wouldn't succeed, right? Because the rest of the roster is quite solid. The rest of the roster is getting better. So if he's not getting better with them, if he, it has a pretty bad year, then I think that's going to be one of the reasons I could see for Montreal missing. Like, if Montreal misses the playoffs, I think he's going to be a reason for it.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
But I also could see a world where he goes on a heater and Montreal picks it up and they just have like a crazy regular season.
Yeah.
And then postseason, it's a complete wild card. But
right. Yeah, I don't think he's necessarily as good as any of the guys in like wins your team games, but like he's a guy who could win them some games, Like he's shown flashes of being pretty good, and so he's got the skill for it. But yeah, I don't know. He's alright.
He had really good advanced metrics this year.
He's alright.
Next up, Sergei Bobrovsky.
He's alright too.
Of the Florida Panthers. This is another just wild roller coaster career guy.
How do you even rank Bob at this point in his career? That's
2 years ago they could not get a team to take him.
Yeah.
And like they would have attached multiple picks and prospects and they could not get a team to take him on.
Yep.
And then he wins back-to-back cups.
Yeah.
And he's been very good in his career. He's won 2 Vezinas in his career.
Mm-hmm. That was a long time ago.
They were a long time ago. And he's had some bad years in between. He's had some really good years in between.
Mm-hmm. He clearly has what it takes to win a cup.
Oh, yeah. He's looking at his playoff career, like his rookie year and then one other year with Columbus, he had some bad runs. And 1 year with Florida was bad. But like has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 good runs in his career.
Yeah.
And 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals appearances, 2 wins.
That's
so like
pretty good. Pretty good.
Maybe similar to Crosby in our 1C video, probably not going to win a Vezina, but like
you kind of have to put him there.
I mean, he's outdueled everybody for 2 straight years, almost hard, everybody for 3.
It's hard to put him in anything lower just because like he's been proving it, right? You got to wonder when the treads will come off. If there's an end to it, but I mean like you're not making any bets against a guy who had just has had 2 back-to-back like extremely good runs. He's the guy for Florida.
And like, is anybody saying that Florida's not going to make the cup next year?
Right.
Definitively. Like, they're still going to be one of the top teams in the East.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Bob's not going to be holding them back in any way, shape, or form, right? I mean, he's just a consistent, good, clutch playoff goalie who has had good regular seasons, honestly, to get him there. I don't think he's going to win a Vezina because, like, other players on his team are better than him, and they're going to be more of the reason that they're doing it. I don't think he's ever going to put up the numbers to like really shine the same way that these other guys are because he doesn't really need to. But when it comes to, I don't know, they're not. Maybe Vasilevsky is the only goalie that I would rather have in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, just from what they've shown, what they've actually done, right? I think Vasi is the only person that even has an argument to be made ahead of Bob in terms of playoffs, and so that's got to count for something, right?
Yeah.
If we're putting Hellebuyck up here for his regular season success, right, then we can put Bob up here for his postseason success, right?
Yeah. Next up on the list is Spencer Knight of the Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah. Formerly of the Florida Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
I think just because like he has such a small sample size of hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Like this past year, he plays career high in 38 games, split between Florida and Chicago.
Yeah, we don't know anything about him in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
He's 24, which we said is right around the time guys break in. He has played a couple of seasons as like a backup in Florida, but like really hasn't done anything, right? So, and
those Florida teams pretty good.
Yeah.
On the back end.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he's playing sheltered minutes on a team that has the defense shelters that are goaltending.
And this Blackhawks team, not good at all on their back end. I expect him to get pretty shelled this season. I don't even think we're not going to know who he is after this season because he's going to be on a bad team and he's not going to get any help. So
a really bad team.
Yeah, but he's shown that he can be good on a good team, right? When he was young, for very reduced time, right? So there's potential there, right? I think the Blackhawks are pretty happy to have traded for him. Like, I think he's an interesting project for them. With goalies, it's always tough. Like, when you're a bad goalie when you're a young goalie on a bad team, like, how much can you actually develop, right?
Yeah.
What can you really do? Like, some guys like Dostal, they like really show it, right? And they like grow into it, and that's why I'm like really high on Dostal, right? Because he looked really good on a really bad team, right? And so we'll see if Knight can show that, and we move him towards like the top of this tier next year. But like, he's gonna be in this tier next year too, right? He's not really proving anything this year, unless, like, I don't know, he absolutely shits the bed or something. I can't even see that. I don't even see a world where he's bad enough to where, like, anything, like, he's gonna.
I mean, if he's giving up 7 a night,
Yeah, but like, that doesn't happen.
Probably not. No, he'll probably get pulled and sent down to the minors, and they'll bring in some sacrificial lamb career backup to eat the minutes. He honestly could be in his own tier of just a question mark.
Yeah,
like he is a pure mystery box at this point.
Honestly, Stolars is the closest person to him in terms of like how little we've actually seen of them being there. So but a total mystery box. But players who aren't a mystery box at all,
kind of. This is Stuart Skinner, the Edmonton Oilers. He's kind of like discount Binnington.
Yeah, in like that he is good way less often than Binnington.
Yes. But
he's had some runs.
He does go on runs. I mean, he didn't accidentally make back-to-back Stanley Cups.
Right. But he also lost them a lot of games.
Yes, he did. But like, he's not bad enough to have just been like outright sent to the minors.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of other players on this list that could have done what he did.
I think so.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I want to put him in the top of loses your team games.
I think that's fair.
Because I think he loses your team games, but I think that there's a lot of other goalies here that could get to cups on the Oilers if they're having good stretches. Like, the good stretches of the goalies that we've seen or that we've put above him here, I think have been, better, as good, whatever, and they haven't had the colossal fuck-ups that Stuart Skinner has shown. I mean, like, the Oilers want to get better. Like, the Oilers want to improve from him so tremendously badly. They would do all. Yeah, okay. They should want to get better. Like, they should want to get,
and they should want to do anything they can.
Yes,
but they kind of haven't.
Yeah, I think that the Oilers, with almost any other one of the goalies on this list, would have won one of those cups.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like in Adin Hill, if the Oilers have an Adin Hill in the Cup Finals this last year, like, there's good odds. There's good odds. So, yeah, I think I don't think you can put him in anything other than loses your team games.
No. Unfortunately not. Which is weird for somebody who wins as many games as he does to be in this tier, but because these guys don't win games.
No.
Somehow he wins them, but he costs his team.
Yeah.
Next up on the list is Thatcher Demko of the Vancouver Canucks.
Are you gonna say the contentious word?
They hope. I think we're a year past contentious to where it's like almost apathy.
Sure. There's
of like Vancouver fans just like, I don't know, if he's there, he's there. If not, he's not. Like,
there's 2 spots he could go.
I think, to me, it'd be happy if healthy.
Yeah. The other one is, are you washed yet? That's the other potential place that you could put him, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to say that because like if he is washed, it's not because of well, I mean it is because of skill, but it's because of injuries, right? The injuries have and overuse has done a number on him. I think we can put him in happy if healthy. He didn't have a good year last year when he was healthy, but yeah, I don't know.
But previous to that, he's
been amazing.
He's had good years when he's been healthy.
Yeah, when he's been healthy, he's been amazing. We might never see another healthy, good Demko season again. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But the Canucks really want him to, because he's been a big part of their success in the past, and his failure and his being unhealthy. Other injury issues, right? But also, yeah, him having health issues last year, him having consistency issues last year, big part of why they were so bad.
Yeah.
Right? And if they want to turn it around, and we've talked about now the three players that I think are like the most pivotal for them, right? We talked about Elias Pettersson, who we put in the who knows tier, is he gonna be better? Like that we talked about him, we're like, he had a terrible year. He's looked really good in the past. Is he gonna bounce back? We talked about Quinn Hughes, who is one of the best defensemen in the NHL.
The entire reason this team is relevant.
Yeah, the entire reason this team is relevant. Now we're talking about Demko, who has had really, really good years and has also had some injury issues and stuff like that. So I think we can put him here, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're calling him washed next year. If he's injured, or if he plays some games and looks terrible in them, like similar to what he did this year, right? Plays some games, doesn't look good. We've probably seen the best days of Demko already, unfortunately.
I agree, and I think Vancouver's gonna be very sad about that.
Yeah,
particularly because they gave him a 3-year, $8.5 million extension.
Yeah.
That kicks in next year with a full no movement clause in each of those 3 years.
Yep.
It's pretty bad.
Speaking
of bad and at one point contentious, but at this point apathy.
Yeah.
Is Tristan Jarry.
Yeah. Tank Commander Jarry.
I think loses your team games, but like, if you told me he is able to bounce back,
he's not going to bounce back on the Penguins. But if
he's getting the least help of anybody in the league.
Yeah, if some team decided that they wanted to do like some massive reclamation project, which I don't know why they would want to, because he's making $5.8 million for the next 3 years. Yeah. I think is Jarry's contract. So if some team like the Oilers, for example, right, was like, I think Jarry could be a cup winning goalie. I don't think that they're necessarily wrong. He's shown some incredibly good flashes. Like he's had runs as good as anybody, right? But like also, God, does he look terrible sometimes? I mean, I watched a ton of Penguins games, right? The number of times that the first shot of the game would go into the net, like I think there were at least like 7. Where it's just like a nothing burger shot and it just goes in, and it's like how can you have these kind of lapses, these kind of mental lapses and still be there? So he's gonna get a lot of starts for the Pens because they either want to show that he can do something, because maybe in the goalie, like I don't know, if he looks really good, then that's great for them because they can sell him. And if he looks really bad, then that also is also great for them because it means they're getting a good draft pick, right? Because the Penguins aren't trying to win anymore. But like, God, Jarry, he's so frustrating to watch. He's so frustrating to watch.
And like, I mean, even his numbers this past year aren't that horrible.
Yeah.
Like, they're not good. Right.
But how can you put him in? How can you put him in any
horrible
tier other than loses your team games? Because
you can't.
He loses so many games just on his own.
Yeah.
So we need to like come up with a stat for like goalie losses where you can just like attribute the whole game loss to a goalie. And you can just be like, yeah, this game never had a shot for anyone to win because like it was just lost by the goalie, right? Like if you let in the like 3 out of the first 10 shots that you face, right? Mm-hmm. That's a goalie loss, right? And
yeah.
Jari had so many of those last year. He had so many of those last year.
Yeah, I think squarely in this tier, maybe even behind Lincoln's. I don't know. I don't know if it really matters.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think it does. Vladar is the worst.
I think Vladar is the worst, but simultaneously, as like a true backup, be the best of these guys.
You wouldn't want any of these other guys as your backup, but he's the most like I think
he's just maybe that's just because of contract.
Yeah. Maybe so. Maybe that's why. But like, I don't know. Even still, the like wild variability of this tier is of Jari and Skinner. Jari and Skinner, I think, are two kind of sides of the same kind of coin, where they are both have shown like flashes of brilliance, and then also have just absolutely lost a ton of games for their team. And if you weren't watching the Penguins this year, and you're, I don't know, they're just. Yeah, good choice. But also, like, you missed out on watching Jari just sing. Like, sometimes you tune into a game and you watch the first period and Jari lets in 3, and it's just like, okay.
The rest of my night's free.
Yeah, I guess my night's free. So
sometimes you tune into the Penguins and you're like, where's Jari? And he's in the AHL.
Yeah, he got sent down to the AHL, and that's not good.
Yeah, that's really bad for a veteran goalie. Next up here, maybe should be at the top of the list if we were ranking them by their names and how fun they are, but it's Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Yeah.
Which is not what we're doing. We're not ranking them by their names.
I didn't get the memo. My bad.
I'm
favorite.
You can be convinced based on this top tier.
One of my favorite names in the NHL. That's true. There's some good names in that Vezina candidate tier. Yeah. That's not where we will be putting UPL though.
No. Are you the real deal?
Yeah, it's either that or loses your team games, right? Like. He lost a lot of games for he was not very good for Buffalo this year.
No.
He's basically had half a year with the back half of last year, right? The back half of last year he was good, very good. Mm-hmm. And other than that, he's been pretty not good.
Yeah.
Consistently. And so it's hard to give a guy he's only 26. So, like, he could still have some good years ahead of him, but it's hard to think that he's going to be good for the Sabres because, like, it's the Sabres, and the organization just doesn't really have a good winning culture, and if you told me that he got traded to the Oilers and won them a cup, I could believe that. I could believe that he could pull it together for that, but, I don't know. The young, inconsistent goalie in front of the young, inconsistent losing team doesn't seem like a winning strategy.
Winning formula.
It doesn't seem like a winning formula in my books. So I think we can put him in Are You the Real Deal? But I think he is getting to the point where he could be in that loses your team games tier. If he has another year like he did last year, if he does the same thing again this year, I'm fully comfortable saying that he is a problem in Buffalo. And I mean, that I really thought at the end of last year, I really thought that he was going to do something.
Yeah.
Like I was like I think the Sabres could turn it around. I think this guy UPL, I think Luukkonen, I think he's really good. I think he could be good. He strung together like a solid couple months of being a very good goalie, right? And that got him paid.
It did.
It got him paid. But like reasonable deal. What is he making? Like
4.7 over 5 years.
Yeah. So like he's that's in the good tier of goalie contracts where like you want him to live up to that contract obviously, but like you're You're not making $9 million. Like they didn't like commit like some crazy amount to him. So I was like, oh my God, that's going to be a steal of a contract. They got him for 5 years on this. I was like, I mean, like this could be it. This could be it for Buffalo. Look at all these good pieces they have. And then he kind of shot the bed this year.
Yeah.
And I mean, so did the whole team.
Yep.
You know, to be fair, it's a they're shit in the bed kind of organization. That's true. Rasmus Dahlin.
Yep.
Might go.
Dahlin. No, not better.
No, not better. Everyone else, you know, there's some brown stains on the comforter, and they're not happy about it. But yeah, so I don't know. I want to see him. I want to see him be good. I want to see him be good, but I'm not convinced right now. So
I think there hasn't been enough to definitively put him in loses your team games yet.
Yeah.
But a bad year this year, I think does.
Right. Yeah.
A mid-year this year keeps him in the same place.
Dostal, Wolf, Thompson, Blackwood, these guys are all in the like one good year away from being in like wins your team games. And he's in the exact opposite boat where he's one bad year away from loses your team games, right?
Yep.
So, you know, not the best place to be in.
And then rounding off our list is Yaroslav Askarov of the San Jose Sharks.
Yep. Who we don't know anything about.
Yeah. I said Spencer Knight's the biggest question mark. I completely forgot Askarov was on this list.
Yep.
Askarov with his 16 career NHL games.
Yeah.
And 13 of them were this past year.
Yeah, and we talked about how bad or young goalie on bad team equals like question mark. We're not going to get any answers about Askarov this year, because this Sharks team is really bad, especially defensively. Yep. They're going to give up a lot of goals. They're going to give up a lot of chances. He's going to get shelled. He's probably going to look bad a lot of time. But I mean, you know, he's widely. He was seen as a very good goalie prospect, right? They obviously gave up a first, right, to get him. Am I remembering that correct? What was the trade?
The trade was the Sharks acquired a third and gave up a first. Yes,
right. So they gave up a first to get him.
Yep.
So obviously they see a lot in him, and you know, he's 23. We've seen like basically nothing out of him. Could be the goalie of the future. Could be whatever, you know?
Yep.
He could never be good for the Sharks and end up being good when he turns 30.
Yeah.
That's just how goalies work
for
sometimes.
Somebody else. You know?
Yeah, for somebody else. So we'll see. But yeah, that's the list. One thing, we have a lot of guys in Are You the Real Deal?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Is there anybody in there?
I think that isn't inaccurate good? To the state of the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of teams that would like to upgrade, but not a lot of teams that are willing to sell off their guy.
Right.
Because they might have the guy. Mm-hmm. And this whole tier is the team of guys who might have the guy, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I'm pretty content with the list. You want to go through it one more time for our audio listeners?
Yeah, so for the audio listeners, this is in order of each tier. So at the Vezina candidate, we have Andrei Vasilevsky of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Igor Shesterkin of the New York Rangers, Connor Hellebuck of the Winnipeg Jets, and Sergei Bobrovsky of the Florida Panthers. In the Wins Your Team Games tier, we have Jake Ottinger of the Dallas Stars, Ilya Sorokin of the New York Islanders, Philip Gustafson of the Minnesota Wild, UC Saros of the Nashville Predators, Jordan Binnington of the St. Louis Blues, Jeremy Swayman of the Boston Bruins, and Linus Ullmark of the Ottawa Senators. And then in the Happy If Healthy tier, we have Freddie Anderson of the Carolina Hurricanes, Darcy Kemper of the Los Angeles Kings, Jacob Markstrom of the New Jersey Devils, and Thatcher Demko of the Vancouver Canucks. In the Doesn't Lose Your Team Games tier, we have Aiden Hill of the Vegas Golden Knights, Sam Montembeault of the Montreal Canadiens, and Joey Decord of the Seattle Kraken. In the Are You a Real Deal tier, we have Lucas Dostal of the Anaheim Ducks, Dustin Wolf of the Calgary Flames, Logan Thompson of the Washington Capitals, Mackenzie Blackwood of the Colorado Avalanche, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen of the Buffalo Sabres, Anthony Stolars of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Karel Vejmelka of the Utah Mammoth, Spencer Knight of the Chicago Blackhawks, and Yaroslav Askarov of the San Jose Sharks. In the Are You Watched Yet tier, also known as the John Gibson tier, we have John Gibson of the Anaheim Ducks, previously the Anaheim Ducks, now of the Detroit Red Wings. And then finally, in the Loses Your Team games, we have Stuart Skinner of the Edmonton Oilers, Tristan Jarry of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Elvis Merzlikins of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and Dan Vladar of the Calgary Flames, now of the Philadelphia Flyers. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this list.
I like it.
I think like a lot of the Are You a Real Deal tier, you could shake up these guys in a lot of different orders.
Yep.
But
yeah, and
I'm
some of them, like we mentioned, are like in the are kind of like doesn't lose your team games right now, but like their ceiling is more so in the wins your team games, like a Logan Thompson or a Mackenzie Blackwood, right? Those are guys that don't lose your team games, and then there's UPL, who is on the cusp of losing your team games, right? I don't know.
Yep.
It's an interesting
Karel
tier.
Vejmelka, and they got like some complete question marks and like Stolars, Knight, Askarov.
Yep.
So, kind of Wolf too, but Wolf showed at least a full season.
Right. Yeah, Dostal's shown 2 now, but like still on a bad team playing meaningless hockey, right? Like you never really know.
All right, so for our next segment, we wanted to discuss the top 5 decors in the NHL. A couple weeks ago, Thomas Hickey of the NHL Network, former New York Islander forward, shared his top 5 defensive units, which you are seeing on your screen now. And for our listeners, he had at number 5 the Montreal Canadiens, number 4 the Washington Capitals, number 3 the Dallas Stars, number 2 the Florida Panthers, and number 1 the Colorado Avalanche. And then this was last week, so 1 week ago, Travis Yost of TSN posted his full tier list for defense corps. And in his first tier, tier 1 teams, he had at 5 the Ottawa Senators, 4 the Edmonton Oilers, 3 the Dallas Stars, 2 the Carolina Hurricanes, and number 1 the Colorado Avalanche. We saw both of these lists
and laughed a little bit.
And yeah, they are quite different from our combined lists that we agreed upon. We might have some contentiousness in the exact ordering, but we feel pretty solidly about the 5. We'll have one honorable mention for 6 teams that are at the top of this list. And for both Hickey and Yost, they had Colorado at 1 and Dallas at 3.
Yep.
Neither of those teams will be making an appearance on ours.
We want to talk about why? Starting with Dallas, the team that you and I have both seen a lot of Stars games. Watched a lot.
I think they are not wrong of what Dallas could be, but I think to say they are the 3rd best defense right now is incorrect.
I mean, Miro Heiskanen and Thomas Harley are 2 incredibly good defensemen. Asa Lindell is one of those guys that does the good stuff in the defensive zone.
Yep.
Is a great
one of the best penalty killers.
Yep, does really good stuff. But outside of those 3 guys, what do they really have?
Yeah.
Right.
Babushkin is a solid Swiss Army knife. He's a 3rd pair guy who has had a lot of experience playing 1st and 2nd pair and has looked decent, but like he's not a game changer guy. He's a nice piece that rounds out a defense core.
Right.
But he's currently their number 4 defenseman, right?
And doesn't really, I guess, do anything well. Like you talk about him, he doesn't really do anything well. You know what I mean? Like he's not like a guy who plays like very good defensive. Like a lot of the number 4s are like really good defensive pieces, right? Where they're like part of a shutdown penalty killing unit, or they're the shutdown partner. If Harley had a shutdown partner, that'd be an amazing second pair, right? But Lyubushkin just kind of is there.
Yeah.
You know?
And when he was in Toronto, he was just there. When he was in Buffalo, he was just there. And he plays okay with good players, right? He played okay with Morgan Riley. He played okay with Darlene. He's played okay with Harley. But he doesn't shine. He doesn't make the team better.
Right.
He just prevents you from icing an even worse player.
And I think we both have. What did we have? The Stars in like the 10 to 15 range, I think, was where we put their actual rankings. I think
you're a little lower on them than I am, but
yeah. I think that's more where they go. There's some other good teams. And then the Avalanche were the other team, which go from first in their in both of these rankings to I have them just outside of this tier of teams. So we're going to talk about 6 teams because we like the 6th team about the same as the 5th. I have them 7th or 8th. You know,
7th, I think.
Yeah, they're right outside of the right outside of this tier. But to me, they don't quite have the depth to be up here with these teams. Obviously, Taves and Makar is the best first defensive pairing in the NHL, right? Yeah. That's the best one.
Yep.
But after that, is Sam Girard your third defenseman? Is he really anything? You know, I don't know. It's hard to think that, and then the depth just falls off from there, in my opinion. So you have this great first pairing, and obviously it's great to have a first pairing, but you need depth in your defense core if you're going to do it. You can't just win it all with just that one defense pairing. And it's like the 2 best players, they're always on the ice at the same time, so you can't even stagger the same way some of the other teams do, right? Even the Stars, right? They don't have Miro and Harley out at the same time, right? You stagger them out, you have most of your game, you get one of those 2 guys on the ice, and you're like, okay, this is pretty good, right? Taves and Makar are a pairing, and they play together, and when they're on the ice, they're fantastic, and when they're not on the ice, the Avalanche are a noticeably worse team.
Yeah.
So then we can talk about the teams that did make the list. Starting off with our honorable mention. At number 6, the Washington Capitals.
Yes. Who were number 4 on Thomas Hickey's list.
Yeah. And I think they are just as good as the other teams that we're talking about, in terms of a tier. I just put them a little bit behind because, John Carlson is a great 1D, but he's a little bit past his prime. These other guys have a little bit more upside. These other teams, rather, are going to have a little bit more upside. But as a group, the Capitals are just incredibly deep. We can pull up the stats at some point because I had those somewhere, right? For their points.
They are almost as good of a 2 through 6 as any of these teams we're going to talk about. They just don't have that number 1 that's going to match all these other teams' number 1s. But Chychrun, very good. I guess I'll go through who the guys are. Jacob Chychrun, 27-year-old, very good. John Carlson, 35, very good. Matt Roy, 30, very good. Rasmus Sandin, 25, very good. Trevor Van Riemsdyk, 34, journeyman, but he's found a spot here on the third pair. He's a very good third pair guy. And Martin Fehervary, one of the most underrated defensemen, I think. Just being a quietly very good shutdown defenseman. And then even going 7 deep, they have Declan Chisholm, who's knocking on the door for a spot on this team. Yeah, they're going to want to try to find a spot for him soon.
This is the kind of depth we want to see in a defense core, where you're just comfortable with every single pairing that's out there on the ice. You're comfortable that they're going to be able to do their jobs, that they're going to be able to contribute. These top 2 pairings for the Capitals just have insane potential offensive upside, and then their third pairing is as good of a shutdown third unit as you could possibly get. You're really happy to have them out there. So this is a great unit. They don't quite have the 1D that we like to see, that can really be a game changer, and that we're convinced is going to be a game changer like next year too, because Carlson's getting older, right? So in his prime, John Carlson as an offensive defenseman, obviously crazy. Is a great power play quarterback, but doesn't quite have the same firepower that these other teams have on their top pairings.
Yeah.
So, and with that, we can get into number 5.
Yes, our official number 5 team, the Winnipeg Jets.
The Winnipeg Jets.
Yes, who did not make either either Hickey or Yost's list,
which is disgusting. How can what?
Winnipeg, very similar to Washington, as far as quality, except they have Josh Morrissey, who is a leap better than anybody on Washington. Mm-hmm. But then when you look like 2 through 6, very interchangeable with Washington's 2 through 6, and arguably Washington's third pair is better.
I
think Winnipeg's.
The third pair is a touch better, but I think that the upside of having Josh Morrissey, a top 10 defenseman in the NHL, is pretty big. So that unit is Morrissey, DeMello, Samberg, Pionk, and then Fleury Shen, I think, is their third pairing going into this year.
Yeah, Fleury could also be Logan Stanley, could be Colin Miller. Like they have. They're 8 deep at NHL guys. Yes,
for sure. Those are all at the very least NHL players. So, but the third pairing not quite as good. But I love that Morrissey DeMello is such a great pairing. Mm-hmm. They complement each other so well. Morrissey, one of the best offensive guys. DeMello, great stay at home. Defenseman has a little bit of offensive upside. And then Samberg Pionk is kind of the same way, the opposite way around. Samberg is a great defensively minded defenseman, and Pionk has a history of being just a solid offensive defenseman. You don't want him as your first pairing guy, but like he's got a great history of being good second pairing offensively minded guy. He's going to provide you with a little bit of firepower there on that second pairing. So I like this unit a lot. I think they're a big reason why the Jets are so good. I mean, they have a good forward group. They have obviously they had Connor Hellebuyck as their goalie last year, right? Who had an insane year. But I mean, this defense group is one of the reasons that they're in there. So
coming in at number 4 here, another team that was on neither list is the Vancouver Canucks.
Oh my gosh, I don't know how this team did not make. I don't know how you can look at this defense core and not like. Oh my God! They're, to me, like they are so close to being. I mean, I've called them as high as 2. I think.
Yeah, the only argument for them not to be in this top 5 is that the overall goals against numbers aren't elite, but that also factors in forwards and goaltending.
Yeah, and injuries as well.
Injuries, coaching system, there's a lot of factors that play into that number, and I don't think it's the defense's fault.
No,
that number was where it was.
So Hughes Hronek is the first pairing. That is, in my opinion, top 3 pairing in the NHL.
Yeah,
I mean, Hronek is a guy who's good enough to be a 1D on a worse team, and Quinn Hughes is the second best defenseman in the National Hockey League.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't get any better than that for a first pairing. So
not realistically.
That's insanely good to me. And then on the second pairing, you have Marcus Pettersson and Tyler Myers.
Yep.
Right? And that is, in my mind, also one of the best second pairings in the NHL. Marcus Pettersson is an elite second pairing defenseman. I mean, it just doesn't get better in terms of being defensively responsible, in terms of just like playing winning hockey. And then Tyler Myers is kind of in that same boat, where he's a guy who, being your 4th defenseman on your team, being Tyler Myers, and having, has got a great history of being a great defenseman. I don't know.
Yeah, as your number 4, that's a great fit for Myers.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's struggling in his career when he's been a first pair guy.
Right.
And due to his draft pedigree.
Mm-hmm. But here he gets
that guy. But as a number 4 next to Pettersson, he's a lot more free to do things on the offensive end, but also like he plays decent defensive hockey, not elite, but decent defensive
Right.
hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think he's a great number 4.
He's a great number 4. And then on their third pairing, they have young Elias Pettersson, DPD, if you will, who had a good first year in the National Hockey League, shows some pretty good promise as a defensive prospect. And then they had Derek Forbert play with him, who is solid third pairing kind of guy. I don't know. It's a good team. They have insane upside with DPD there. I think I don't know that he's got like 1D potential, but like, I mean, he's got the potential to be a mainstay NHLer, right? You know, it's like he's gonna be there. And then they have Hughes, Hronek, Pettersson, Myers. I just don't think it gets much better as a top 2 pairing for that.
Not a lot.
So that's why I have him so high. I think I had him at 2. I want to say it was, and you talked me down here to 4. Maybe I had him at 3. I don't remember exactly what it was when we were first going over this list. But I
think you did have him at 2.
I love this unit. I love this unit. This is not the reason that they have struggled. I mean, like, this is an elite defensive unit that just has. I mean, like, their forward group is so bad.
Yeah.
and Demko had such a tough year, as we just talked about, you know. Such a question, right? And
So next up at number 3, a team that was not on Thomas Hickey's list, but was number 2 on Travis Yost's, is the Carolina Hurricanes.
How did this not make Hickey's list?
I mean, I could argue this to be number 1.
Yeah.
Our number 1 has pedigree. That just kind of trumps anything, right? And then number 2 has like insane upside, but like this is such a good unit.
Yeah.
In Carolina, if you got Jacob Slavin and Jalen Chatfield, Keandre Miller and Sean Walker, and then Shane Gostisbehere and Alexander Nikishin. I mean, the only argument is that it's a little unproven in like chemistry and fit and how guys are going to mesh together.
Yeah, there are a couple of changes.
Bringing Keandre Miller, Nikishin played what, 1 regular season game and then playoffs.
Yeah,
no regular season games. He played 4 playoff games for them last year. So you're projecting these additions to come in and mesh.
Yeah,
but I think they're really good.
The guys that are and I don't know, Nikishin not proven right. Looks fine in the playoffs, but like, I mean, Keandre Miller is a very good hockey player and is a proven good hockey player, right? It's just going to be the fit here. So this unit is so good. You want to go through the pairings?
Yeah. So it is top pair right now is Slavin and Chatfield. Could they want something a little bit better than Chatfield for the first pair? Maybe. But Jalen Chatfield's still very good. Keandre Miller and Sean Walker on the second pair, and then the Ghost Bear, Shane Gostisbehere, their power play quarterback, who they're able to kind of bury a little bit in 5v5 here, and then Alexander Nikishin. And like Nikishin's a very, very highly rated prospect. I saw one defense prospect ranking going into last season that had Nikishin as the number 1 guy, including all the guys who have been drafted since him. Much higher than him. Like, this guy is a monster, or was a monster in the KHL. So we'll see if he's able to come over and be as productive as projected, but I think he will be.
Yeah, we are definitely projecting a little bit here, but this is such a great unit. Slavin Chatfield's pairing is not, maybe doesn't have the same firepower offensively as some of the other ones here, but like defensively and like for the scheme of the Hurricanes, I mean, like that's exactly what they're doing. And Keandre Miller is new to this team and is going to have to learn the stuff, but he's another guy that has like really good offensive upside, but also plays like good fundamental hockey. I don't know. I like his fit a lot here on this team. I think he's going to be extremely good for them. I thought that was a great move for him. And I don't know. It's hard to it's hard to argue against these guys and the kind of numbers that they're able to put up despite.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how many Kochetkov games have we seen? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're still
or
looking
even lower in the lineup.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like they're not. They've made some pretty bad goalies look reasonable.
Yeah.
You know, based off of.
I mean, hey,
just...
they made Nedeljkovic a good bit of money.
Very true. So we really like this group. So.
And Miller could take the power play job.
I could
really
see
explode.
that. I could see that for sure. And then maybe, you know, you get rid of Ghostberry and get a better 5v5 player, right? And that's even scarier potential, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is a great group.
Coming in at number 2, a team that didn't make either top 5 list somehow. And maybe it's, you know, missed the playoffs bias, but it's the New Jersey Devils.
Not this team's fault. Not this group's fault that they missed the playoffs. You know.
Well, I guess
injuries
technically
fault.
depending on injuries.
It's injuries.
Injuries
fault.
preying on their downfall, but
yeah.
I mean, this team is so stacked defensively.
That's insane.
They're 7 deep on this unit.
Mm-hmm.
The pairs are a little up in the air due to injuries.
Yeah.
I'll start. Jonathan Kovacevic is not expected to start the season from his knee surgery, but he is a third pair guy, or honestly, he's a second pair guy. Quite a good one. You got Luke Hughes, who's I assume they're going to get a contract done with this guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no way that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So
and I think next episode I thought about putting the segment in this episode of like the unsigned who's left, and you know, Hughes is maybe the top behind McTavish on this list of like the best unsigned guys left in the league.
I put him above McTavish.
Probably, yeah. He is, but McTavish has just dominated the media.
But I think McTavish is the one that's been more likely to not reach a deal. But
yeah.
But Luke Hughes, I think, will get a deal. He's looked very good.
Yeah.
He's 21 years old. He's got pedigree. And could be every bit of the first pairing offensive defenseman 1D potential. We didn't rank him as the 1D in our 1D video which I should go to say how deep this group is. But also, you know, he's young. He's a bit unproven, but he's had 2 very good years, right?
He's had 2 very good years, but neither of them have been like great dominant years.
Right. And
it's like there's still like
he's
at least
years
another
old.
level.
He's 21 years old, and his brother is the second best defenseman in the NHL.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. The sky is the limit for Luke Hughes, but the floor, like where he's at right now, is still like incredibly good.
Yeah.
So, and then you got Brett Pesce.
Yep, phenomenal.
Who is a fantastic
defensive defenseman
to pair with him. Mm-hmm. Second pairing is Siegenthaler and Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah, Jonas Siegenthaler, one of the most slept on defensemen in the league, of just like a pure shutdown guy.
Yeah.
Kind of Esa Lindell-esque. Shutdown PK guy.
Yeah. Not
flashy. Gets the job done. And then Dougie Hamilton still can be elite. Still flashes some of that phenomenal elite play, but the injuries have caught up to him.
Right. The injuries have caught up to him as a 1D, but as a second defenseman, like it doesn't get much better as like your as your third defenseman, like the second like your second offensive defenseman, right? Like really, and he's got all this offensive talent. He still does. And they've got a great pairing for him in Siegenthaler, right? That kind of lets him do his thing. Just gets to sit in the back. So, I mean, if Dougie
And
Hamilton is your 1D, you might be a little sad, but like as part of this unit, he gets to shine.
Yeah. And the more minutes Luke Hughes gets is the more minutes Dougie Hamilton gets to take off.
Right.
Which hopefully
is going to increase the quality of those minutes.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have Brendan Dillon, who is a great third pair defenseman.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot more, but super physical, good defensive defenseman, in a perfect role. And then maybe the scariest to this team for keeping them at the top of this defense tier is Simon Nemec. He has first year looked pretty solid, not amazing, but he looked pretty solid. Looked like he belonged. And then last year, a lot of injuries and looked bad.
Yeah.
But like I said, they're 7 deep, so they have Kovacevic,
right,
that they can go to.
Yeah, like Kovacevic is realistically the third pairing, like the guy on the third pair here. Yeah. They're going to give Nemec all the time that he needs in order to see what's there, because he's a highly touted prospect. The offensive potential is sky high. Like there's a world where he has a bounce back year without the injuries and stuff like that this year. Yep. Looks really good, and then like what is this team? Like honestly, like what is this team if you have Luke Hughes and Nemec as like two 21-year-old like incredibly like high potential defensemen, and then Dougie Hamilton too, right? And then surrounded with all the defensive, all the like role player like defensive defensemen, all the shutdown guys you could possibly ask for, right? To pair with all your high upside like young gun like defensemen. I mean, this is a scary looking unit for the future. Again, assuming injuries are not a concern, which obviously they always are. This is a unit that got injured last year, but you expect them to be able to put it together at least once, right?
Yeah.
That's how you got to feel about the Devils. You got to expect that they're going to put it together at least once. You're going to get a Jack Hughes year. You're going to get a defenseman ready year. You're going to get a Markstrom year. It's going to happen at some point.
Yeah,
at some point.
Surely,
hopefully.
At some point.
Hey, fingers crossed, right? You want to see these guys play good hockey. This is an awesome team that just hasn't gotten to show off all of the stuff yet, and so that's why I think they were slept on and missed the 2 list here. But I mean, if you look at the pedigree and you look at the quality of the guys here and you look at the potential upside, I mean, who was it that put the Canadians on the, like, this is what the Canadians wish that their defense core looked like.
Yeah.
Like this is you have your young guys and they're all paired with an established defensive defenseman, and like you just have your 7 deep and you're feeling really good. So
yeah,
I like the Canadians group. I'm like Noah Dobson's biggest fan. There might not be a bigger Noah Dobson fan than me. Yep. But so much less proven. Lane Hudson also had a great year, right? Still not as proven, and then those surrounding pieces are just not quite there for me to feel comfortable putting them in my top 5. They're right there looming, though. Like we could have this discussion, and the fit could be good. We talked about Carolina's fit, but if Montreal has good fit, we could be talking about them as being top 5 in the middle of the season. I could see, but right now, I don't feel comfortable putting them there. But they're looming.
Yeah. People, I think, are a year early.
Yeah.
Which, the internet likes to be sometimes. So I understand people put Montreal up there, but yeah, I think they're potentially knocking on the door. And at number 1, a team that has proven it, but apparently not enough to Travis Yost, because he didn't have him in the top 5.
That's insane, by the way.
But Thomas Hickey had him at 2.
Insane.
It's the Florida Panthers.
How could you not put this unit in the top? Like what was he smoking? I just don't, like, there's no holes. Sure, this is a team like the Capitals, who we'll get to the lineup in just a sec, but this is a team that, like the Capitals, doesn't quite have that like 1D that some of these other teams do. But oh my God, who's like it's Forsling and Ekblad on the top pairing. Like that's just a disgusting pairing. We talked about like Taves and Makar. We talked about Hronek and Hughes, right? This is a pairing that's up there, not because either of those guys is like the first or the second best defenseman in the NHL, but because both of them are probably top 15 to 20.
Yeah.
Like, that's disgusting to be able to have that two elite defensemen on that unit, and then you have Mikkola and newly acquired Seth Jones, who like looked insanely good on that unit, just fit right in. I mean, everyone was looking at that trade like, oh my gosh, like what has happened? But then like Seth Jones was so good for the Florida Panthers, like fit right into the system. It looks great. We're talking like Mikkola or Jones is your fourth defenseman. That's where we're at, right? Those are insanely good. That second pairing, that has to be the best second pairing in the NHL. Out of all the ones that we've talked about, like those are the best players that you could have. And then it is Kulikov and Petrie, I think, lined up right now for the third pairing.
Yeah, Kulikov and Petrie are the third pair.
Which is, has been that's second pair worthy potentially. Like that could be a bad second pair. The fact that you've got that level of guys here, I don't know. This is a crazy good unit. I don't know how you can sleep on the 2-time back-to-back Cup champs. I know they have good goaltending, like we just talked about, and I know they have a great forward group. But this
play
defense
a good
group,
system.
Yeah, they play a good system. But this defense group is one of the reasons that, like, I mean, I don't know how you can rate them anything other than 1. It's a defensive team. They have an elite defensive group of players, and Forsling Ekblad, Mikkola Jones. Like, what is that? Oh my god!
And there's no projecting with this team. Like with New Jersey,
exactly. You're right.
With Vancouver,
with Carolina,
there's projection for pretty much all these groups until you get to like Washington, Winnipeg. Right. With Florida, I mean,
they did it.
There's no better pedigree.
Do it, and they're signed forever. And they just
except for Mikkola.
Yeah, and they just took like a team friendly deal from Forsling, right? Like, this is gonna be the top unit in the reason that we have New Jersey at 2. I think we agree on this, is that they're the only team that could potentially eclipse this because of the potential that they show. But I mean, this is just a disgusting group of hockey players. How do you win against the Florida Panthers? I mean, you don't. Yeah. That's why they've done
it so far.
You can't. So
except for Vegas.
Yeah.
But
who we might have been talking about if not for a key injury.
yeah. If Pietrangelo was healthy.
Yeah.
He might be. They might be towards the top of these lists. So.
But yeah. So that's our top 5. We'll go over it one more time. What was we've got?
Yeah. So honorable mention. Washington Capitals.
Yep.
Then Winnipeg at 5. Winnipeg Jets at 5. Vancouver Canucks at 4. Carolina Hurricanes at 3. New Jersey Devils at 2. And the Florida Panthers at 1. I think our lists are better.
Yeah, I think so too. But I'm sure other people will disagree.
And if you do, drop a comment.
Yeah.
Somewhere down here. Let us know.
Tell us why we're wrong.
Yeah.
Tell us why the Ottawa Senators actually deserved the top 5 ranking that they were given on the who's listed.
That's an insane take, Travis Yost.
Yeah, Travis Yost. I mean, I like the Senators. I like their defense group. That's an insane take.
They're the same as the Stars.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, Sanderson, Shabbat, that's great. Jordan Spence, woo! And then it's like Zub is like the Lyubushkin of like, yeah, it's okay. And then you have a bunch of unproven guys at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, they also have a Nick Jensen for whatever. That's a good third pair. So for our final segment, I believe you have a game for us to play today.
Yeah, I do. We're doing an $18 draft. So I think we did a $20 draft the other time. I only ended up spending $18. We've decided 18 is the right amount. It gives you, because there's 6 positions, so it gives you $3 per position.
Yes.
I've prepared the Central division. So you're gonna have to fill a full team: left wing, center, right wing, left defense, right defense, and goalie.
Yep.
And I've got players that cost $1, $2, $3, $4, and $5. I've sent you the list of players, so you've got all the players that you have to choose from. You guys at home are going to see it on the screen, but for the audio listeners, I'll say it out loud. And you can react to these live if you want to too. So starting off with your left wing, for $1, you can have Ryan Donato. For $2, you can have Arturi Lehkonen. For $3, you can have Philip Forsberg. For $4, you can have Clayton Keller. And for $5, you can have Kirill Kaprizov. At center, for $1, you can have Jonathan Toews. For $2, you can have Connor Bedard. For $3, you can have Rupa Hintz. For $4, you can have Robert Thomas. And for $5, you can have Nathan McKinnon. At right wing, for $1, you can have Jonathan Marchessault. $2, you can have Gabe Vilardi. $3, Jordan Kyrou. $4, Matt Boldy. Or $5, Mikko Rantanen. At lefty, for $1, you can have Sam Girard. For $2, you can have Cam Fowler. For $3, you can have Mikhail Sergachev. $4, Josh Morrissey. $5, Roman Josi. Right D, for $1, you can have Ilya Lyubushkin. For $2, you can have Sean Dursey. $3, you can have Brock Faber. $4, Miro Heiskanen. And $5, you can get Cale Makar. And for goalie, at $1, you can have Spencer Knight. $2, you can have Karel Vejmelka. $3, you can have Jordan Binnington. $4, UC Saros. And $5, you can have Connor Hellebuyck.
Interesting. So, my eyes are immediately drawn to a few places. $18. If I just take Josi and Makar, does it matter who else I get? You know, like that's $10. So I have 8 remaining. Theoretically, right? I'm just going to theoretically say this. At right wing, honestly, I feel like I can get by with Marchessault.
Okay.
As just like a pure goal scorer. And at $1, like I feel like that. I like that value. So then that's $11. So then I have $3 or $7 to spend on the remaining 3 positions. I don't know what goalie I'd even want in this tier.
It's tough. It was tough when I was going through these guys. I was like, there's some interesting picks here.
Like I almost want to take Forsberg at $3, but now I have like almost all the Nashville Predators, and that feels like a bad choice. You know? But like I like the value of Forsberg at $3. So I think I'm gonna drop Josi to Morrissey for the extra $1 right now. So that would leave me. I might drop Makar to Heiskanen for the extra $1 as well. I want a good center.
It's a pretty good defensive
defense.
pairing.
So like let's say I keep Makar Morrissey, right? So that's $9. I have $9 more for the rest of the team. Marchessault at $1. I think that's a lock. I think I'm going to lock Marchessault at $1. Okay. It's because I need some value on this team. Some cheap. So it's $10 between them. So I have $8 remaining. And then I get a Rope Hintz for $3, which would leave me $5. And then I could get Forsberg Vejmelka. Is that my best play? Or do I drop Makar and do I take Heiskanen and Morrissey? Hintz, Forsberg, Marchessault, Binnington. Or do I drop Miro and just go Brock Faber? But that's not my style. My style is big defense. I like my superpower defense. I think I'm going to go Philip Forsberg for $3. Rope Hintz for $3. That's 6 total. Marchessault for $1 is 7. Morrissey for $4 gets me to 11. Heiskanen for $4 gets me to 15. And then Binnington for $3 gets me to $18. I think that is my best choice. Because I'd be willing to sacrifice $1 to get down to Faber. But then I get what? Saros, Keller,
Saros,
Thomas. Like one of those four?
Robert Thomas.
Guys? Yeah, but is Robert Thomas significantly better than Rope Hintz? I don't know. Is Clayton Keller significantly better than Philip Forsberg? Probably. What if I just go Lehkonen instead? Just don't spend money on my wings. Because I kind of want to get Nate McKinnon now.
Okay.
So if I can get McKinnon, Morrissey, Heiskanen, that is $13. And then Marchessault is 14. And then Lehkonen 16 and Vejmelka's 18. I really feel like I don't want Vejmelka. I feel like I really want Binnington.
Yeah.
I feel like Binnington's the floor of what I'm willing to accept.
That was kind of what I was going for. I wanted you to spend some money at the goalie position.
McKinnon, Morrissey, Faber. Now we're spending $12 there. And then I get Binnington for 3 is 15. Marchessault for 1 is 16. Lehkonen for 2 is 18. Problem is I don't want Lehkonen. I want Forsberg.
Yeah, pretty big jump.
Yeah, this $2 to $3 tier is a pretty big jump for most of this list. But you know what? No, I'm going Lehkonen. Marchessault, Binnington for $6. And my remaining 12 are going. 8 of those dollars are going to Morrissey and Heiskanen. And that last dollar is going to Robert Thomas.
Robert Thomas
is the team I'm going to make.
Okay.
No. Forsberg and Hintz. There you go.
Forsberg and Hintz over Lehkonen and Thomas?
Yes, over Lehkonen and Thomas.
So your final team is Forsberg, Hintz, Marchessault.
Yep.
Morrissey, Heiskanen, Binnington.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I think that's the best that I could make.
That's such an interesting team because obviously you have a great blue line, right? With Morrissey, Heiskanen, right? That's incredibly good. But then is Forsberg, Hintz, Marchessault that much better than Forsberg, Stamkos, Marchessault in terms of obviously Hintz is way better than Stamkos, but from a pure goal scoring perspective, what is that offensive group really doing? You're kind of relying on Morrissey and Heiskanen to do a lot of heavy lifting for you there.
I still think Forsberg is very good.
That is true. Forsberg is good. But Forsberg, Marchessault taking the wings from one of the worst teams in the NHL.
Yeah. I think it's just because Marchessault is one. At some point, you have to save money.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go Forsberg, Hintz, Kyrou, Sergachev, Faber, Binnington, just go right down to threes, right? I want to spend some money.
It's not a bad team, you know?
It's not. But I want to get some of that top talent.
Right.
So then you have to save some money somewhere else. And of the $1 players, Marchessault stands out to me. As the by far the best option of the $1 players.
Reasonable.
I guess I maybe going Sergachev because Sergachev as a 2D is actually proven as a very good player, right? So
yeah,
maybe there's a world where that makes sense.
Is Miro Sergachev just Sergachev plus Hedman part 2? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But then what does that get you? That gets you a Robert Thomas?
Yeah, it gets me up to Robert Thomas.
That gets you up to
or
Robert
UC
Thomas.
Saros.
Yeah.
Or Clayton Keller.
I don't know.
You know.
It's an interesting one for sure.
The only player I'd be willing to drop my defense spending for is Nathan McKinnon.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I should. Maybe I did this wrong. Maybe I should have spent the $5 on Nathan McKinnon and built my team from there.
Mm-hmm.
Because, one Cs are
1Cs are kind of important. I think we've discussed in the past. Mm-hmm.
But can I get by with having a 1C as Roope Hintz, very good player, when I have Morrissey Heiskanen as my defense,
Well, let's say that your defense was Harley and Heiskanen, and Roope Hintz was your center, right?
Yeah.
What quality of wingers would you want on that team in order to make it good? Would you want, per chance, Jason Robertson and Mikko Rantanen as your wingers?
Yeah.
How much do you think I would have charged you for Jason Robertson?
4.
I probably would only charge you 3. I think he's about Philip Forsberg, but,
That's fair.
You can't just do it all. But yeah.
Okay, then... Okay, let me build this team correctly. All right, we're going to start with Nathan McKinnon at 5. We're going to lock that money in. All right, that money is untouchable. So we have $13 remaining here.
Yeah.
I need good defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go Heiskanen and Sergachev for $7. Right, so that's $12 locked away. I have $6 remaining to spend on this group of players. I am committed to Marshall Soul at 1 because that is the only $1 player that I want.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves me with, what did I say? 7 plus $13. Leaves me with $5 remaining.
Right. Which means you're getting Binnington and Lehkonen, right?
Yeah, I'm getting Binnington and Lehkonen. I think that's the actual correct team.
Okay.
You get Lehkonen, McKinnon, Marchessault, Sergachev, Heiskanen with Binnington.
Mm-hmm.
That's the actual correct team. And I win because I have Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah, you do have Nathan McKinnon. That's pretty good.
So, big upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
And, Lehkonen is not that much worse than Forsberg, especially when I have Nathan McKinnon.
I mean, they've already got the synergy, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, I think Marchessault can still score goals.
Yeah.
He's not great defensively, but you have Lehkonen, who's a great defensive first liner.
And everyone knows that all you need is a single wing, and that makes your line really good defensively, right?
Yeah. I mean, we can hide Marchessault, okay?
Yeah.
We can hide Marchessault.
I thought Marchessault was an interesting pick for a buck because he's very tempting, but also kind of super one dimensional, right? So it kind of locks in that for a thing. I don't know. I thought it was an interesting pick.
Yeah, I mean, the only other guy on this list that intrigues me at all is Sam Girard for $1.
See, I was actually thinking about Sean Durzi for me. Durzi as a second pairing guy with a Yossi or a Morrissey to me could be pretty decent. That was what I was thinking of. And then that gives you some maybe. I was also thinking about a Kirill Kaprizov, Roope Hintz instead of McKinnon Forsberg.
Yeah.
Kind of the bones of that. You know what I mean? The structure there. Because, Hintz really good with good wingers. Kirill Kaprizov, maybe the best winger in the NHL outside of...
outside Kucherov?
Yeah, outside of Kuch. So,
yeah.
I was trying to give options. I like where you went with it, though. I think this McKinnon... This budget kind of little bit different Avs team is pretty interesting,
Yeah.
But it's also interesting because, did you even get a better defensive pairing than Taves Makar? Right? It's kind of, I don't know. And then Marchessault versus Natchez, is this even as good? I don't know. It's an interesting team. I don't know. I thought this one was interesting. So
yeah, this one's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because I feel like the gap between Thomas and McKinnon is massive.
Yeah, who's the second best? I don't know. Who would you put here?
Oh, I don't know if there's anybody else to
That's
put
what
here.
that's what I mean. Like I mean like Robert Thomas is good. You put Robert Thomas with like a Kaprizov or a Rantanen, I think they're probably cooking, but
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Like, there's no Aho in this division.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no Aho where you can get.
Like, you had a choice of, like, Crosby or Aho.
Right.
And, like, realistically, I kind of had to choose McKinnon. If I'm making, like, an actual, like,
right,
likely Stanley Cup winner.
I don't know.
The first team I built is still going to be very good. They're going to be, like, a conference final loser.
That Keller, Thomas, Boldy tier, if you, like, got, like, Keller, Thomas, and Boldy on a line, like, that would be pretty gross, too, right? So...
It's just hard to spend. It's hard to spend Keller and Boldy money.
Yeah.
For me, like, I would just prefer, if I had to budget somewhere, it's the Wings.
Fair enough.
You could say goaltending. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Fourth Line Plugs podcast. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, follow, or subscribe, whether on Spotify or YouTube, and be sure to drop a comment. Let us know what you liked and what content you want to see moving forward. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.